Hello, hello, Brandon and Maddie, who are in the chat. Hello to anyone who might watch this later. Glad you all can join me, especially those of you joining me live at the earlier time. I know it's ridiculously early in the morning in Australia, so thank you, Brandon, for joining. Looks like for you, Maddie, it's in the evening time, based on what you're talking about in the chat there. Um, I am in a different location, as you can see behind me. I am watching some doggies. You can't see him, but there's a doggy underneath the table right now that I am petting. He's just off camera. So I am watching my friends' dogs while they're on the East Coast, and they are in turn going to watch my dog when I go to the East Coast in a couple weeks. I am actually going to be in the same place as Mark, and I know Brandon and Maddie, you know who Mark is. Anyone else who's stumbling upon this video, Mark is my brother who has a channel called Enchantment of Eternity. We do a lot of collaborations together, and he's living on the East Coast with my family, and I will be seeing him in person. And then, like 2 weeks after I fly back, he flies out here, so I'll actually be in the same place with Mark twice. And I will get to meet Holden and Naomi. I don't know if Mark has told you guys yet, but he got 2 new kittens, and he named them Holden and Naomi because, of course, he did. He's my brother. Why would he not get 2 kittens and name them Holden and Naomi? Of course, he would do that. Let me take a sip of this wine, and then I'll let you know what I am drinking. I know Maddie is asking. So as you can see, my name this week is just Alyssa the Red, because this is just a red. That's all it is. It's not anything particular. It's a red Portugal wine. Anna, red Portugal, 2020. Not a good year. Maybe it's a good year for wine, but it wasn't a good year in general. But Anna red. So that is why I am Alyssa of a red, because that is what I'm drinking. Not a Cab Sav, not a Pinot, not a Merlot. I don't drink fucking Merlots or none of that stuff. Just red, just red. So I'm Alyssa the Red. Yeah, Brandon says you've seen the kittens, I'm sure, in photos. I will get to see them in person. So, Holden and Naomi. All right. Yes, it does. It matches my hair. The red. The nickname, Alyssa the Red. So, you guys, they just finally gave us a date for Lower Decks season 3, a little bit later than usual, August 25th. And I know it's definitely later than usual because Mark is coming out to visit in mid-August, and he's come out at the same time the last 2 years before this one. So this will be the 3rd year in a row that he's come out like mid-August. And both of the previous years he was out, he and I did a Lower Decks review together because we were in the same place while Lower Decks is airing. But this time it's coming out a couple weeks after he's here. So August 25th. So we don't have to go without Star Trek for too long. And then I suppose at some point after that, we'll probably get the rest of Prodigy season 1. They should just call it season 2. It's so ridiculous. Anyways, so August is a busy month for TV shows that I watch. August and September, early, if you go August into early September, there's 5 shows that are coming on that I'll be watching. Plus Westworld season 4, I think, will be finishing up in August. I don't know if there's any overlap between that and anything else. I think the earliest one to come on is She-Hulk. So you got She-Hulk, you've got Lower Decks, you've got House of the Dragon, you've got Star Wars Andor, you've got an early September as in the Lord of the Rings show. Was it called The Ring of Power? Or no, what was it called? Well, whatever. Brandon will tell me in a second. That show comes on in early September. So that's 5 shows that are going to be simultaneously on. And then I think Star Wars is the Bad Batch season 2 comes on in late September. So there's going to be so many shows on. So I keep a running, I keep track of all the shows that I watch for my top 10, and I rank them all. So last year was the most that I had watched in a year since I started tracking it, with 22 shows. In 2019 and 2020, it was around, I think, 14 to 15 shows for each year. I think 2019 was like 14 shows, and 2020 was 15 shows that I watched. 2022, or 2021 rather, was 22 shows. Right now, in July, this is just only counting the shows that have completed their runs, completed their seasons. So I'm not counting Westworld, which is still on. 18 shows. So Westworld will make 19, plus those 6 that I just named. There's 25 already by September, or I don't count them until they're finished. So like, October or whatever. But I think I'm going to hit 30 shows, which is going to be twice as many as what I watched in 2014 and or 2019 and 2020, which is funny because in each of those 2 years, 2019 and 2020, Star Trek Discovery made my top 10 because most things did make my top 10 because I only watched like 14, 15 shows. So odds are if I watched it, it was going to be in my top 10 somewhere. Whereas I think season 4 is the best season of Discovery. I gave it an 8.5 out of 10. And it's in the top 10 now, but with all the shows that are coming out, it may not make it. It may not make it, which would be weird to have season 2 and 3 in my top 10s, but not season 4, which is definitely the best. But that may happen just because I'm watching twice as many shows as I watched in those years. All right, let's see what you all are saying here in the chat. Let's see. Maddie's saying, "Oh, I didn't know that. I hope they free Captain Freeman." Did you see the? There's a sneak peek scene where Boimler is working in a. Well, you think it's a winery because he's doing grapes and he's like wearing the same hat that Picard wears, but he's actually doing raisins. That's really funny. Anyways, look that up if you haven't seen it. Manny Jester says, "Oh yeah, Brandon and Manny both saying Rings of Power." That's what I thought. I said the Ring of Power, but that didn't sound right. Rings of Power make more sense. Let's see. Brandon said, "Okay, hold on." And yeah, Maddie says, "I'm a Discovery guy and I honestly think season 4 is the best so far." That's what I thought. I thought season 4 was the best so far, for sure. But because I'm watching twice as many shows as I saw in 2019 and 2020, there's a chance that seasons 2 and 3 made my top 10 and season 4 won't, even though it's definitely better than those two, just because there's more shows. But we'll see. We'll see. It's at an 8.5 out of 10. So in order for it to get knocked out, pretty much my entire top 10 would have to be full of 9s and 10 ratings, which is totally possible. Not impossible. But beyond the 6 shows that I named, I was trying to think of what else I know for sure I'll be watching this year. And the only other thing I could come up with is The Wheel of Time season 2. But there's got to be something else. I don't think there's any more Marvel shows except for the stupid Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. I don't know if that counts as a show or if that's a movie. I don't know what that is. Although I'm unclear if What If season 2 will be out this year. First, I heard it was not going to be out until next year. Then I heard, oh no, it should be out by the end of 2022. And then I heard, no, it's going to be out next year. And then it's back and forth. So I don't know if What If season 2 will be out this year. So not sure about that. But I was thinking about this last year at this time, July 2021. I hadn't even heard of the shows that ended up being number 1 and 2 on my top 10, which was Squid Game and Dopesick. And at this time last year, I hadn't even heard of them, didn't know they even existed. So who knows what the latter half of 2022 will bring. There might be, my top 2 might be 2 shows again that I right now in this moment have never even heard of yet. So you never know. Who knows? Let me take a sip and then I'll see what you guys are talking about. Let's see. Paramount Plus are doing new Frasier and new Beavis and Butthead. Are either of those shows your bag? Yeah, they were back in the day. I don't know if I'm interested in the new ones. I don't know. Are they reboots or sequels or? I forgot about the Frasier one. I knew about the Beavis and Butthead one. In fact, I've been wondering what has been taking it so long, because remember when they did the commercials for Paramount Plus before it was a thing, and it was like a serialized series of commercials where they were all like going on some journey up the big mountain. How Paramount has the mountain. So they were all these characters from different shows. But the funniest part of that, wait. Oh, crap. Now I forget. Michael Burnham said something. What did she say? God damn it. She said something, and then Beavis or Butthead went, you said, whatever she said. And I wish I could remember what it was she said. But Beavis and Butthead were in the promotional material for Paramount Plus before Paramount Plus even was a thing. Back when it was CBS All Access and it was about to change into Paramount Plus, and they had all those commercials on the Super Bowl. Beavis and Butthead were in that. So it's weird that it's like just now that they're finally getting around to that show. I would imagine I'll have to just check it out of curiosity. I feel like Beavis and Butthead was one of those, it's a one-trick pony. I kind of feel like it was good at the time, but it sort of wore out its welcome because there's only so much you can do with that. And so I don't expect that I would love it. I will probably check it out of curiosity. The new Frasier I had vaguely heard about, but I had kind of forgotten all about that until you mentioned it. What's the deal with that? It's going to have Kelsey Grammer in it again, and is it going to have all the same characters, or are they just rebooting it and having like a different actor play Frasier, which would be stupid? But yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if I would watch that or not, to be perfectly honest with you, unless I heard it was getting like rave reviews from people that I trust. Beavis and Butthead will have to take a gander at just out of pure curiosity of what it would be like, but it's a one-trick pony. And plus, I was in my early 20s when that was on, late teens, early 20s during that show's run, and I had a different sense of humor back then. So, although I do still find it funny, I'll watch some of the videos that they do, I watched the Morrissey video that they did recently because I hate Morrissey. I can't stand his voice, and they do the. But it does. He did that for Chris Isaac too. He goes, and in that video, he's like dancing up against a rock, but it's like he's humping a rock. So I do still find it funny, actually. But I think I wouldn't find all of it funny. I think more so the videos than anything else. Let's see. How many people do you trust, Alyssa, apart from Mark? Well, any of the YouTube channels that I watch, if a bunch of them were saying it was good, even if it's someone like a Jessie Ginger, who I don't agree with everything Jessie Ginger says, I do agree with her sometimes. Like, she and I are mostly on the same page of Discovery and Lower Decks as well. We disagree on Prodigy, and we disagree on Enterprise for sure. And she recently put out some top 10 videos for her top 10 of each Star Trek series, and I didn't watch them because I know they'll be drastically different from mine. In fact, on her Voyager one, she's got a picture of Tuvix on it, which that was my number 3 least favorite Voyager episode, and she will have it in her top 10 as the best for her. So I didn't even bother watching hers, but I trust her enough that we agree enough that if she was one of, not just from her word alone, but if she was one of many YouTubers I was watching, who I tend to, can agree with sometimes, who were saying Beavis and Butthead was worth watching, I would check it out. Mark would be the big one. If Mark watched it, and actually I'm thinking of Frasier. I was talking about Frasier. Beavis and Butthead I'm going to watch it. Sorry. Frasier. Beavis and Butthead, I'm probably going to check out anyway. So if like Mark watched Frasier and said it was worth watching. But honestly, you know what else they're coming out with that I'm probably not going to watch is That 90s Show, which one of my coworkers said they already did at That 90s Show. I think he's imagining that. I don't think they ever did that before. But it's going to have Red and Kitty. Red, of course, has also been in some Star Trek episodes. He was in The Year of Hell, and Kitty was in WandaVision. But they're going to be the grandparents now, and it's going to feature, I think, Eric and Donna's kid. These character names only make sense if you've watched That 70s Show, but. And I think the other original actors may make some cameos, but it's mainly just going to be, as far as regulars, it's going to be the grandparents now. And I don't know. Why do we have to bring back all these old shows? I'm probably not going to watch it. I may just out of curiosity, but probably not. Let's see. Brendan says, I was a hardcore Smiths fan back in the day. Yeah, for some reason, that doesn't surprise me. That seems like a band you would like. It was just never my thing. Morrissey's voice is like nails on a chalkboard. And now I feel vindicated because Morrissey is an asshole extreme right winger. So, I'm like, yeah, and your music sucks too. So, Brandon says Tuvix and then sick emoji. Is that a puke emoji? I can't tell. Yeah, I'm glad you're on the same page with Mark and I on that, because there's a lot of love for Tuvix out there, and I think those people are objectively wrong. Maddie says, my friend James won biggest Smiths fan in the UK competition, and he was presented with one of their framed gold records. No joke, for real. Good for him. I know people were really into them. Good for them. Everybody has their own tastes. I just could never stand his voice. You know who else's voice I can't stand? It's not as bad to me as not anywhere near as bad as Morrissey. And I can take him in small doses, but if I hear too much, it drives me crazy. And that's Dave Matthews. Dave Matthews. Sounds like a donkey. Like I can take it in small doses, but. And for some reason, like, there's this illusion that Dave Matthews is a jam band and he's put in the same class as Fish and the Grateful Dead, and he's not a fucking jam band. He's not. I can't stand jam band. That's actually because I was listening to, for a while I had Sirius XM and I was listening to the jam band station that played, all these different jam bands, and they have played Dave Matthews all the time, and I would have to change the channel whenever it would come on because I can't stand him. Or just can't stand it. It's like nails on a chalkboard. But I would take him over Morrissey any day of the week. I can't stand Morrissey's voice. Cannot stand it. Manny's talking about is Tuvix sucks. I didn't mind when Janeway whacked him. Tuvix was an obnoxious narcissist. He did not give a shit about anyone else. Go ahead. I said this in my top 10 least favorite, but I challenge anyone to get a piece of paper, make 2 columns. Number of times Tuvix says me, I, myself, or refers to himself. Number of times he talks about anyone else's feelings ever. That column would be a 0. The other column would have like 20 marks. Me. Like, and never once does he stop to reflect on the fact that he's only existed for 2 fucking weeks, and these other people basically had to die in order to create him, and they have loved ones. Tuvok had a family. Neelix had a girlfriend. They both had the crew of Voyager. They've both been around for way longer. And if Tuvix had even stopped for a second to consider that, then I'd have empathy for him. But I agree. Yeah, just Janeway should have whacked him. Brandon, go check out Dave Matthews on YouTube. You probably would like him. I don't know. I don't know. He's a little more. I can almost see why he gets lopped in with like Fish and the Grateful Dead. He's got that sort of. I don't know. I don't know how you describe it. Like, good old fashioned rock and rolly. I don't know. Country influence, but not country. Kind of sound. I think his music is fine. I just can't stand his voice. Let's see. Yeah, at least Sam understood what was at stake. I gotta watch that episode. I know which episode you're referring to, the one, the Enterprise episode. Pretty soon here, I need to start my rewatch of Enterprise. There's just too many other fucking shows taking up my time. This is actually would probably be the time to start watching Enterprise. But I'm also doing a bunch of other things besides watching TV because it's summer. So, yeah, I don't know when I'll get to start my Enterprise rewatch, but I would like to get that going relatively soon. And that's one of the later season episodes, though, isn't it? The one with Sim, isn't that like season? I don't know. When is that? When was that episode? But yeah, I'm just looking forward to sitting through seasons 1 and 2 of Enterprise. Yes, Maddie, it has been a long road. Brandon hates it when Mark and I start quoting that, and we quote it in every live discussion that we do, no matter the topic. It doesn't have to have anything to do with Star Trek. We have to throw in a reference to the Enterprise theme song. Excuse me. Because if you can't laugh at it, what else are you going to do with that? I mean, you got to laugh at that theme song. You just kind of mock it. Is it season 3, Brandon? That's what I was thinking. It was season 3, but I wasn't sure how that fit into the Xindi arc. I guess not everything was directly related to the. Oh, wasn't no. They were creating him. Oh, I forget now. It did have to do with the Xindi, didn't it? I don't know. We'll see. You quote it because you like getting a rise from me. I know this. Yeah, I mean. Partially, but as Mark pointed out in our last discussion, we would do it even if you weren't there, which is rare, to be fair, for you not to be there. But we would do it regardless of whether you were there or not. But we do enjoy getting a rise out of you. It is true. It is true. But it is also, but that's just kind of like additional. Like I would be doing it anyways, whether I got a rise out of you or not, because it's just fun to make fun of that theme song. And I love that we have this running gag where we always have to quote that theme song. and find a way to tie it into our conversation. I love it. It's fun. If you don't have fun, you would just be miserable, you know? So you got to have fun with the things that make you miserable. Not truly miserable, but miserable in, you know, a TV movie sort of way, not like a real life, you know, miserable. Oh yeah, I had said a couple of weeks ago that I might do a political rant during this live stream. I don't know that I feel like doing it anymore. I think I want to keep this fun and lighthearted. But there was definitely a time where I was thinking about, I can't wait to do my live stream and do my political rant, but I don't know. I don't think I want to do that. There's plenty of time for ranting. There's plenty of time for dealing with the reality that we live in. This should be more of a fun time. Thank you, Brandon. Season 3, episode 10. So it would be a little while before I even got to it in my rewatch because I'd have to suffer and struggle through seasons 1 and 2. It's like getting to season 6 and 7 of Voyager. That was hard. Season 6 of Voyager, other than Blink of an Eye, which is number 3 on my list of favorite episodes. Other than that, I would say every single episode was at best mediocre, and there was a lot of really bad episodes in season 6. Yeah. Let's see. Maddie says, I remember back in the day all the speculation about Series 5, as it was called then. For a second, I thought you were saying Series V, like the miniseries V with the lizard people, but you're talking about Series 5. Okay. But oh boy, when I heard that theme song, it was shite. Ironically, oh boy is what Scott Bakula said at the end of every Quantum Leap episode, because it always ended with him leaping into the next episode, and he always went, oh boy. That was his catchphrase. So it's funny that you you said that. Yeah, I remember that too. I remember when I first of all, I heard it was a prequel, and I was like, really? Do we need that? And that's always my reaction to prequels. I had the same reaction for Discovery. Really? Except for Strange New Worlds. That's a different story. But for both Enterprise and Discovery, I was like, really? A prequel? So I was already against the idea of a prequel. And then the theme song was just like, that was the end of it. I mean, I still watched it, but it was just like, yeah, this is not a good show. It's not good. What else do you guys want to talk about? I decided not to do my political rant. Can't remember what other topics I had, or if I had any in mind at all. I know. I mean, usually these streams are at least an hour. It's only 30 minutes in. I can't end now. Gotta come up with things to talk about. Maddie says, are you thinking of doing a Patreon, Alyssa? I don't know. I only have 322 subscribers. I mean, I could get a Patreon and get, $5 or $10 from each of you. And Brenton Berg, very reliable Patreon supporter. He doesn't show up for the live streams ever, but he was always reliable Patreon. He then went and joined Mark's Patreon page, and Mark didn't even know who he was. He was like, this is Brenton Berg. I was like, oh yeah, he's like old school. Yeah, and I don't know, I get like $30 a month or something, and it's not worth it. I don't know. I'll be honest with you guys. This changed over the last couple of weeks with Strange New World reviews, but there was a time where my Strange New World reviews a couple of weeks in a row was getting like 15 views, and then my Obi-Wan view got like 10 views. I have 322 subscribers. There's going to come a point in time where I'm gonna get bored of putting in all this work and making all these videos for like 10 people to watch. I know you guys love it. You, Life in the Void, Liz Fahey Scott, Norman Buckwald, Allison Fordyce when she's around. I've got like 5 people, and Mark, of course. Mark will watch my videos. 5 or 6 people will watch my videos reliably, and other than that, it's like I don't know if it's going to be long term, whether for me to continue making these videos for 5 or 6 people to watch, and getting like constantly getting like 10 or 15 or 20 views, or rarely, even when I get a good amount of views, it's still not 100. So not anytime soon. Like I'm definitely here for, at least for the end of the year, for sure. You know, I'm looking forward to doing my top 10 and doing my award videos like I did last year. Underrated, overrated, worst, and best. The best is my top 10. Those are already set unless another show overtakes them. But I already know what my underrated, overrated, and worst are going to be, unless another show comes along and overtakes them in any of those categories. I hope no show overtakes the worst, because that would suck. But anyways, like, so I'll definitely be here for the end of this year, and then we'll see from there. Eventually, if it continues on like this, eventually I'll get tired of this. But on the plus side, I'm redoing my transition timeline. The last one got 40,000 views, which is by far like 10 times as many views as the entire rest of my channel combined. So hopefully the other one will get more views. And this time I'm going to make a little recording at the very end, just being, hey, I do other things. Subscribe. See if I can get more subscriptions from there. And I really should have a better social media presence, but I suck at social media. Yeah. I get amused as hell when someone calls me old school. Well, as far as me and Mark's channel go, you are old school. You are one of the earlier commenters and participants of our channels that is still around. You and Norman is another one. Allison Fordyce, though I don't see her around as much. She does pop in every once in a while. Liz Fahey Scott has been around for a while. But yeah, and Maddie is newer, but I'm very happy to have Maddie as part of the family. Let's see. Brandon says, I saw a poll on YouTube asking who was the most positive captain in Star Trek. And interestingly enough, Pike won. Positive captain? Like, has a positive attitude? Is that what you mean? What do you mean positive captain? Like they have a positive outlook? If that is what it means, then I would pick Pike in a landslide. I don't even think it's close, honestly. Let's see. Maybe Picard. Picard seems to have a positive outlook, but yeah, okay. Uplifting. If it's uplifting, I would give it to Picard. See, that's a different word. Uplifting is different from positive. If it was the most uplifting, I would say Picard. By a landslide. But positive is different. Like, positive makes me think like they have a positive outlook on life, and they have a positive view of humanity. Actually, Picard is up there too. When I think about it, Picard would be up there, but I would probably pick Pike. So it's not a landslide, but I would probably pick Pike. Yeah, Picard. Picking Picard makes sense. Now, if it was who is the best captain, Picard still number 1 for me. Got Pike number 2. Then it becomes interesting. I have the tendency to want to pick Sisko just because I love Deep Space Nine so much. But is he necessarily a better captain than Janeway or Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Burnham at this point would be in the lower end, but I think she's only been a captain for one season, so I think she could definitely. I think she did some good things though. I think that Burnham is a pretty good captain. I don't know. She might even be up there with Janeway. She actually reminded me a lot of Janeway. Burnham also though has some positivity too, if you want to think about it. Like if you were looking at positive captains, because her whole thing in season 4 that was like the positive outlook. Not the let's go and try to kill these aliens, but let's have a positive outlook on these aliens. Let's think the best of them. And so I think Burnham is actually a sneaky candidate for positive captain. People might not think about it, but if you think about her arc in season 4, which is the only season in which she has been a captain, actually it's a sneaky candidate for positive captain. But yeah, I'd have to think about it as far as ranking my favorite captains. Yeah, and what I'm talking about here is not what Mark did when Mark did his top 10 of each position of the ship, like top 10 doctor and top 10 helmsman and top 10 captain and all that, where he was ranking how good they were at their job. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about my personal favorite. It had nothing to do with how good they are at their jobs. I don't know. In that case, it probably would have to go Cisco third. I think I go Cisco third. As far as my favorite captains. Archer's probably last. Yeah, I think Archer's probably last, and Kirk is down there, and it has a lot to do with William Shatner. Like, I just don't think William Shatner is a very good actor, and he's an arrogant ass in real life, and I will never forgive him for Star Trek V, like for taking over and insisting that he make his crappy fucking movie. And it's just one big ego trip for William Shatner. And I ranted on that in my review for that movie, but I'm watching that movie and I'm like, Captain Kirk is like the center of the universe and everything. Like Starfleet going to Enterprise, going, oh, I know your ship is in shambles right now and you're in no shape to do any mission, and there are other ships that are closer, but we need the great and amazing and wonderful Captain Kirk because he's the only captain who can do this, because we love you, William Shatner, you are our idol. Like, such a William Shatner ego trip. But anyways, like, I don't like William Shatner. So that kind of hurts Kirk a lot. Let's see. Maddie says they struck gold with Pike. Season 2 of Disco was greatly enhanced with this addition. I agree. Brandon says, well, Janeway did strand the crew in the Delta Quad. I don't blame her for that. I think she made a tough call. Like, do you just let the Kampa die to get back? I honestly think she made the right call there. So I don't blame her for that. Let's see. Brandon says Archer definitely last. Brandon says, just gotta say the Romulans in the finale look like the Thermians. Who are the Thermians? I don't know what that means. I don't know. They look like Romulans to me. I didn't think they looked like anything but Romulans. Oh, Galaxy Quest. Oh, I haven't rewatched that yet. That's my nostalgia lane this month. Probably going to rewatch it within the next couple days. So I have my video out by Friday. So I haven't rewatched it yet. Remember, nostalgia lane, the whole point of it is to watch a movie I haven't seen in a while. So right at this moment, I haven't seen Galaxy Quest in a while. So I didn't remember the Thermians. I know who you're talking about now. They still look like Romulans to me. I don't know what you mean. Maybe I'll see what you mean when I watch Galaxy Quest, which I'm going to do very soon here in the next 2 or 3 days or so. Brandon says, I adore that movie. Yeah, I used to love it, but it's just been a while. So I'm curious to check it out again. The main reason I haven't watched it in a while is because I have a thing with Tim Allen, but I'm going to do a lot of separating the artist from the art and just enjoy the movie. But I do not like Tim Allen as a human being. I mean, I do it with William Shatner all the time, so I can do it with Tim Allen too. Let's see. R.I.P. Alan Rickman. Yeah. Alan Rickman was great. Played a variety of roles, and was good in every single one of them. Definitely. Also, one of the reasons I chose the name Brandon. Galaxy Quest is? I don't even know. It's been a long time. It's been a long road since I've watched Galaxy Quest. Oh, okay, that didn't quite work. Okay, now you're quoting Galaxy Quest. Brendan, wait. Quote Galaxy Quest next month after when I do my live stream next month. Although, I got to tell you, I don't know if I'm going to have time to do a live stream next month. So what I'm going to do is, instead of keep scheduling it and pushing it back because I have other things to do and because it's summertime, I'm not going to schedule it. I am just going to see if maybe one weekend day I have an open schedule and I can do it, and I'll probably let you guys know 2 or 3 days in advance. Okay, boom, doing a live stream this weekend, and that's all the notice you're going to get. And I can't schedule it because I don't know that I'm going to have any free weekends or even any free weekdays to do it. In August is a little hairy, so don't know if it'll happen in August, this live stream, but if it does, I'm going to tell you like a day or two beforehand. I'll do my announcement video and let you know that it's coming. But I'm not going to try to plan it. Like I tried to plan it in July and then pushed it back 2 times and then ended up pushing back the time because I actually have something to do at 4 o'clock today. So summers are busy with fun stuff. So we'll have to play it by ear for my August live stream if it even exists. So I'll let you guys know on that. But in any case, whether it's August or September, whenever I do my next live stream, you can quote Galaxy Quest to your heart's content, and I will get the references because I will have seen it recently. But you're just about a couple days before I watch Galaxy Quest. So let's see. Manchester says, getting from there to here. Yes, it's been a long road, Manny. Getting from there to here. I'm sorry, but for me, that was like one of the funniest laugh out loud moments in Lower Decks. Riker, and he's like, "Oh, I just hanging out in the cul-de-sac with Captain Archer. You know, it's been a long road getting from here to there, from there to here." Just his delivery was just I cried laughing. How good is your ear, Alyssa? What do you mean? What is the purpose of your inquiry? Are you about to like blast something at me? What is happening? What do you mean? How good is my ear? I don't know. What do you mean? Mark has made me want to rewatch Lower Decks, actually. I would totally rewatch the first 2 seasons if I had any goddamn time to do it. I don't see where that time is coming from. So, although I may rewatch some of the particular episodes that I love. That's what I did last year, right before. So last year, it actually worked out beautifully that I watched episodes 8, 9, and 10 all in a row, and then episode 10 ended right at midnight for the premiere of season 2. So like I watched 8, 9, and 10 of episode or season 1, and then season 2 episode 1 immediately It's worldwide premiere immediately after those three. I don't think I'll get it to line up quite so nicely this year because by then I'll be working, so I won't be able to do that. But I will maybe see if I can go back and watch some of the episodes at the end of season 2 that I liked. And even episode 10, which I didn't think was as great. To me, episodes 8 and 9 were amazing. And Mark and I disagree on episode 9. He called it a gimmick. He calls things gimmicks when he doesn't get it or when he doesn't agree with or I don't know. It's not a gimmick. It's fine to not like it. I disagree with calling it a gimmick because it's not a gimmick. I thought it was probably one of the stronger episodes in the series. I think for me, and I don't know what order I'd put it in, but episodes 9 and 10 of season 1 and then episodes 8 and 9 of season 2 would be my top 4. I think season 1, episode 9 is probably my favorite. The one when they did the Star Trek movie. That was so good. So good. Okay. You'd do the live stream by ear, hence the question. No, it's going to play it by ear. To see what happens. Is play it by ear not a saying in Australia? It just means we'll see what happens. How good is your musical ear? I don't know. It depends on your preference. Different people have different opinions on that. I feel like there's something else I was going to talk about. I can't think of what it is. Yeah, I don't know. There are a couple of things related to my transition I was going to talk about. Then I just ended up talking about them in my transition video instead. So it would just be a repeat at this point. Oftentimes I'll come on here and talk about shows I recently watched. I feel like I've talked about all of those last time. Yeah. I don't know. Turn to do. Let's see. Wahaha and Victor. Don't get the reference. And Victor? Okay. No, how good a musician are you? I'm not a musician. I just like to listen to it and dance to it. I'm not a musician at all. If you hear a Fish song, can you play it on your guitar? No, I don't play the guitar. I have a guitar, but I don't play it. I don't really play it. So no. I'm getting right into the original Twilight Zone. Really? It's been a while, but there was a time, and I think this still is a thing, but Sci-Fi Channel, I guess now it's called Sci-Fi, for New Year's Eve would always do a Twilight Zone marathon. And I think, for all I know, they still do that. I know that they were still doing it as recently as what was that, 2019, I think? I watched some of it. So probably still are doing it. But they've been doing it for a long time, back when I still lived with my parents. So it's over 20 years ago, well over 20 years ago, 25, maybe 30 years ago, they were doing it. And I guess it's still a thing. So there was a period of time where I did watch a lot of the Twilight Zone marathon every year. And like I said, I did catch some of it recently. I don't remember what year that was, but it was somewhat recently. So, but other than that, I think the last time I really watched a lot of Twilight Zone would have been 20, 25 years ago when I watched one of those sci-fi marathons on New Year's Eve. I had started a tradition of New Year's Eve rewatching the Lord of the Rings films, although I skipped that this past New Year's. I didn't do it. But the previous 2 or 3 years before that, I had. Let's see. Really and truly. What's your favorite episode of the original Twilight Zone so far that you've rewatched or watched for the first time? I don't know. Let's see. Maddie says that was my poor impression of Mariner being evil in that Lower Decks movie homage episode. Oh, the thing. Oh, and Vict. Oh, okay. It's because it's in writing. If you had said that in your voice, like I would know exactly what you're talking about. It's hard to get things like that in writing sometimes. Let's see. The Twilight Zone is on Paramount Plus here. They made another new one, didn't they? Because I think the new one is on Paramount Plus. I guess the old one probably would be too. But I'm not going to watch it because if I'm going to watch anything old, my priority is to get through my Enterprise rewatch. That's my priority. And I don't know when I'm going to have time for that. Never mind getting into things like the Twilight Zone. Perhaps one day I will go back and dive into some of those old episodes. No. I don't know the names of any of the episodes either. I mean, describe the plot. That's what I would do. I wouldn't be able to tell you the name of a single Twilight Zone episode. I would just be the one with the guy. Remember the one when William Shatner was on the plane? Although that's not my favorite. I don't actually remember them enough to tell you what my favorite would have been. Just saying the one where something happens. I don't know the names of them at all. Yeah. I basically only ever memorized the titles of Star Trek and Lost. Other than that, I will not really memorize titles of shows, even if I review them. Like I review Obi-Wan. Oh, Obi-Wan was easy. That's not a good example because Obi-Wan was just part 1, part 2, part 3. But Wheel of Time, I reviewed it. I don't remember any of the titles. Star Trek and Lost, for whatever reason, are the only shows that I will remember titles. The Bookish Man Surviving the Nuclear Bomb and Finding a Library. Oh, yeah, I remember that one. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. You've got me curious about checking out Twilight Zone episodes. A lot of them, though, you have to find the good ones. There are only a few that still hold up. And I thought this even in the 90s. Never mind now. That there were a lot of vastly out-of-date ones. But there were ones that still stood the test of time, at least in the 90s. And I imagine some that may even hold up today. But I feel like the majority of them were out of date. And another thing that I remembered about Twilight Zone is Rod Serling must have been terrified of dolls as a kid because he was obsessed with dolls coming to life. Creepy dolls coming to life. There was a mannequin that came to life. There was a marionette with the strings that came alive. And there was just a regular old creepy doll that came to life. And I think those are the 3 I can think of, but I think there were more than that. Multiple episodes of dolls coming to life. Creepy dolls coming to life. Those episodes creep me the fuck out. Those creep me out. It's funny, I'm not really creeped out by dolls, just in general. If I see a doll in real life, I'm not. I know some people are creeped out by them. I'm usually not, unless the doll looks particularly creepy. But just like a normal, ordinary doll, I'm not really creeped out by. But those episodes of dolls coming to life creep me the fuck out. And there was a bunch of them. Let's see. Maddie says, my favorite American imports when I was a kid were The Adventures of Pete and Pete and Are You Afraid of the Dark? Are you familiar with either of those? They were my top stuff back in the day. Are you a little younger than me, perhaps? I vaguely recall the title Adventures of Pete and Pete, but I feel like that's like a kid show for like 20 years. Like I was well into my adulthood. So maybe, are you younger than me? Because the Adventures of Pete and Pete sounds vaguely familiar. Are You Afraid of the Dark? I have no clue what that is. Not the slightest. I'm a sucker for Bernard Herrmann music. I don't get the reference. I don't know who that is. I've not even finished season 1, and he does have a thing for mannequins. Yeah, I know. Mannequins, dolls, marionettes. The one where I remember there was one where a marionette came to life, or no, what do you call it? Ventriloquist. The ventriloquist doll, where the doll was controlling the human or something like that. I remember that one. Like, that one scared the crap out. Like, I didn't like it. I didn't like it because it was too creepy. Like, it was too unsettling. Like, I didn't like that one. Clowns. Yeah, I was one of those weird kids that was not afraid of clowns. Actually didn't even occur to me to be creeped out by them when I was a kid. I liked them at the circus. We would go to the circus. They would get in the car, whatever. Like I was never creeped out by them. But as I got older and like started to become aware that other people were creeped out by clowns, I could definitely see why. Like I definitely could see why clowns would be creepy. But it took me looking at them in a different perspective. Like, oh, I guess they're kind of creepy, aren't they? But it never occurred to me as a kid. I never thought of them as creepy. But I didn't really necessarily thought of dolls as creepy until I started watching the fucking Twilight Zone. And I was like, dolls are creepy. 36, this is back in the early to mid 90s. Oh, okay, early to mid 90s, I was in my late teens and 20s. So I was a little bit beyond the kids' shows. So that's why I haven't heard of him. So yeah, Adventures of Pete and Pete, I vaguely recall that being a thing, but I was in my 20s or whatever, so I wasn't into that stuff anymore. That makes sense. That explains it. I haven't gotten to that yet. Well, the one with the ventriloquist guy. I don't remember exactly what the deal was, but I think like the doll was controlling the human or something. I just remember like it was too much for me. I don't know. Oh, I was just thinking. So the original black and white ones, I didn't watch so much as a kid. But there was a 1985-86 reboot of Twilight Zone. There's been like tons of reboots of Twilight Zone, but there was one in the 80s, and there was one particular episode. So I would have been like 10, 11, 12. There was one particular episode that scared the crap out of me for years. Like I was terrified. So there was an episode of where there was this kid who like this shadow would come out from under his bed and like crawl up the wall, this shadow creature, and he would go, "I am the shadow, and I will not harm the person whose bed I sleep under." And it was super fucking creepy. He would crawl up the wall, and then he would go out and murder children, the shadow, but he wouldn't harm the kid whose bed he slept under. And then at the end of the episode, the kid, spoilers for a Twilight Zone episode from 1986, but the kid like wanted to get back at these bullies, so he like set them up to go to the park. I think the park where the shadow was killing people, and like knowing that he was safe, and he set them up to scare the crap out of him, not to like kill them or anything. So he was like, I'll play the joke on them, and they ran away screaming. And then he was like, oh, we did a good job, Shadow. And then the Shadow started like trying to kill the kid, and he was like, what, don't you recognize me? And he goes, I am a shadow who sleeps under someone else's bed. No, that scared the crap out of me. Like, I was scared of shit under my bed. Like, I was one of those kids, like, who was scared of monsters under the bed. Like, so to have this like shadow thing coming out from under your bed, even if it's not going to hurt you, that still was creepy enough. But then for him to think that he's safe, but then the shadow creature is actually from someone else's bed. And that was a big twist, because we didn't know there were multiple shadow creatures. We thought it was just the one. That episode traumatized me for years. Like, creeped me out. So, and that was an 80s one. Like, the black and white ones I didn't really watch until a little bit later. I had seen a few here and there at that time period, but I didn't really watch black and white shows when I was a kid. I was like, why would I want to watch something in black and white when we have color now? So I didn't. To this day, I have never sat through the entirety of It's a Wonderful Life. What? You've never seen It's a Wonderful Life? Casablanca? Nope, never seen it for one split second. I don't know. Those black and white movies are just so out of date now. Like, they're so out of date. So anyways, I hadn't really seen any of the black and white Twilight Zone episodes as much in that part of my life. I was watching the 80s reboot of it. And then, of course, there was the movie, which basically, I think, remade original episodes. And the one with the kid, the all-powerful kid, kind of creeped me out. Especially when he made his sister like not have a mouth anymore. That creeped me out. Anyways, you guys have anything else you've been talking about? Let's see. I remember dismembering my toys. The prototype for the X-Files, don't you think? Twilight Zone? Yeah, I suppose so. I suppose that is true. There was also The Outer Limits, which is kind of originally, I think, a Twilight Zone knockoff, but it kind of had its own thing. And Mark, of course, did a rewatch recently of the 80s Outer Limits, which I did watch too. One of these days when I have some time, maybe I'll dive into the Outer Limits too. Let's see. Did I read Where the Wild Things Are when I was a kid? Absolutely, one of my favorite books when I was a kid. Loved that book. I enjoy black and white TV photography. It has atmosphere. I like black and white photography. The black and white films just tend to be out of date. The way that the 1930s and 40s style of filmmaking is just vastly out of date now. So I love black and white photography. That's a whole different thing, in my opinion. Black and white television, it's not about the fact that it's black and white. It's about the fact that it's old and out of date. And it's hard to sit through because we're just, the style that they used to make movies back then is just not enjoyable for me. Yep. Well, I may have to jump off of here pretty soon. I'm getting to the point where I need to use the bathroom, and either I would have to get up and make you guys watch a blank wall, with a couple posters back here for a few minutes while I went, or I could just end the cast. But I'll have to do it right this second. Just within the near future, it's probably going to be coming. You guys have anything last second things that we should talk about? When you gotta go, etc. Yes. yes. When nature's call. What are the pictures on the wall behind me? So this is my friend's house. So I don't really know. Like, so this something from the 1800s. I have no clue what it is. Oh, view of the Capitol at Washington. Never mind. It says right here, view of the Capitol at Washington. I assume Washington State. So Olympia, Washington. So this is like, I guess this would be the Capitol building in the state of Washington in the 1800s. We learned something new. This one, I never really understood. It seems like it's a reference to an anime, but my friends aren't into anime, so I don't know why they have this. I'll have to ask them one day, like what this is. But there's like a girl staring at the moon, and then the corner is like a Japanese writing, and it says arigato, which I guess makes me think of anime. And she says, "First, I would go to the moon." I'm gonna have to ask them about that because I've seen that they've had this for years, and I've always seen it. I always come over here and dog sit, and I come over here and hang out with them, and I've seen that poster. I've never asked them what that means. It seems like it's referencing an anime, but I don't know. First, I would go to the moon. Brandon says, you've been in the house before, I'm certain. Yeah, I've recorded videos from here. Usually I record from their side room, which is where I will often set up and I'll sleep in there. But the side room has a sofa that goes out into a bed, and I slept on it last night. And in order to record a video, I'd have to put it back into a couch, and I didn't feel like doing that. But that's often where you'll see when I record videos from here, I've recorded them in that other room. I don't know. I may have recorded one here once, maybe back in the Acton Top Gear days. Here, I'm in the dining room here. Yeah, you've definitely seen me record videos from here. I watch their dogs occasionally. I watch their dogs. They watch my dog. It all works out. Let's see. This is where Diego the dog lives. Yes, you remember the dog's name. That's a pretty good memory. Diego actually is right underneath me. So this is a kitchen table you can't see, and right underneath the table, Diego is lying. And right when I was starting the video, he was coming up to me and putting his head on my lap. But you couldn't see him, but he was right there. And now he's just sleeping right at my feet. Off screen. He's off screen. Okay. All right. Okay, guys. I think this is going to be a wrap for this month's live stream. I'll let you all know about next month. Brandon, I can always rely on you being there. And Maddie, you've actually been at everyone too. So, but no pressure. If you can't make it, it's fine. Yeah, August live stream will be at the last minute, and it'll just be 2 days ahead of time. We'll be like, okay, so I have time, so I'll do it. But there's also a very good chance there won't be one in August. So we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I adore dogs and I miss them. Well, you should get a dog, Brandon. Maddie, it's been a pleasure chatting with you both. He says, you too, Maddie, you too, Brandon. Good as always to chat with you all. And I shall see you all next time, whatever that might be. Have a good day. Bye-bye.